All right, ladies, we'll turn it over to you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for putting that poll up there. I'd be curious to see some of the cheeky little answers that we had there. But just wanted to talk to you a little bit about what the Poultry Innovation Partnership is all about. Brenda, next slide. Diane mentioned it. You might know us. We're not new on the scene, but we are new and newly branded. Well, there we are, all of the above. So we are formerly the Poultry Research Center. We are about research. We are the people who do some of those flock talks. We do teach students in the industry, all of the above. Thanks. So the Poultry Research Center, why did we become the Poultry Innovation Partnership? We just felt that might explain a little bit more about what we do beyond just research. And our mission, well, our partners are, we have 9 partners, Diane mentioned that. We are a consortium of these partners, and we've been partners for a long time, some longer than others, but the 4 boards, Maple Leaf, Sofina, Egg Farmers of Canada, Burnbrae, PB Mart, and of course the government of Alberta until just recently, but still supporting PIP from more of a distant reach right now. So the Poultry Innovation Partnership mission is to foster a healthy Canadian enterprise. That's why we do it. And how we do it, or what we're doing, is we are a consortium, as I just explained, of the industry and academia. And how we do that is through excellence in research and innovation, knowledge management, tech transfer, which Western Poultry Conference is part of that, and mentoring tomorrow's poultry professionals. So all of these things beyond research, and some of why we decided to go with a name change, but beyond that, next slide, Brenda. But beyond that, it really is about all of us playing a role, all of us having a role to play in that continuous improvement of the industry. So we have 9 partners, and what's really changed between what we were as a Poultry Research Center and the Poultry Innovation Partnership is how we're all working together for that goal. And so this is just a cycle of continuous improvement that we strive for. And you know, we all play a role in helping to identify or define what the problem is. Of course, doing the research and executing those research plans, that's largely happening at academic institutions. And then there's the role that the PIP team, Brenda, myself, Mohammed, Tanya, and Dawn, working with our industry partners, trying to communicate and develop recommendations that come out of that, working with the service industry to adapt those research findings into something that can be actually worked on in or applied in the real world. And then of course, working very closely with producers to take those adaptations and help them to adopt that new innovation. So this is what we're all about, and what we've come to realize and know for sure without a doubt in our mind is that we are better by working together. And so I'm going to just turn it over to Brenda now so that she can talk a little bit about what we do and what we've got going on.
Cool. Well, thanks, Val. It's different for me to be speaking in front of you virtually. But I'm glad to be here, and I am very glad that our conference has gone so well this year, even though we couldn't be together. So a little bit about what we have going on. If you ask me, perhaps we have too much going on, but we have so much great information coming from our team. Val and I were joined last year by two new team members. We've had Don Haig with us for many years as our admin support person, but we were joined by Dr. Mohamed Afrouzieh in July of last year. I think it was August. They've been with us for some time, and he is our research associate. And Tanya Morais is the person who keeps us on the straight and narrow and makes sure that our extension events and so on are running smoothly. So we're very thankful that our team expanded because it allows us to bring more information to the industry. So one of the things that we were able to do, because we have that great expanded team, is start doing a monthly newsletter. And we started this, I believe it was in October. So each month we are putting out some information. We're highlighting some people of poultry in the province. Hopefully we'll be expanding that across the country as time goes on, and highlighting some research results, highlighting some interesting tools that you might be able to use on your farm. So that's been a real bonus to what PIP can provide. I think we are probably most known about events. We do a ton of events, and I couldn't list all of them because it would take all of our time and more for the rest of the afternoon. But as Diane alluded to, we are quite involved with Western Poultry Conference. I've chaired the organizing committee for a few years now, and love doing that, love bringing it to you, and I can't wait to be in person next year. We host a monthly webinar called Innovation Showcase, where we bring new and exciting research results from across Canada to our people. And it's on the first Wednesday of the month. And if you look at the calendar, you'll see that we actually hosted one of these this morning, and Val was our speaker. So that was good fun. And when I say we're always busy, we are always busy with events. So that's good. Something we started last year is what we call the Canadian Poultry Science Network. And this is a network of researchers and students from across Canada. They're doing work in poultry science and avian science. And we had, in 3 months, we organized and delivered a forum that allowed students to present their research, researchers to talk about what they're doing. And I think we formed some interesting collaborations and learned a lot about what was happening across the country. We're planning the next edition of this in June. So if you're interested, sign up on our website and you can get notified about the stuff that we're doing. Resources. This is kind of what the front page of our website looks like. And honestly, if you're looking for anything PIP related, you're probably going to see it on our website. When I think of the resources that we have available and that we're planning to bring to it, I actually wrote some notes so I wouldn't forget. We are working on some very interesting projects, but at the moment, that's where you can find all the recordings of our webinars. We are working on bringing research results and summaries of those research within the next few weeks or months to have that on our website. So if you want to learn about the research that has happened in Alberta or even across Canada, you can learn about that there. We are working on highlighting those tools that I mentioned about in the newsletter. Those are all residing on our website. One of the interesting things we're actually working on right now, Tanya has been gathering some information for us. And something we found as we've gone virtual is that if you live rural, and many of you do, and I do as well, I live in the country. I live close enough that I can see city lights, but that doesn't mean I actually have good internet. So we are working on a project where we can kind of highlight the different types of internet you can get in a rural location, and what they might, have an idea of what they might cost, what you can expect with them. I think I've tried every version of rural internet that there is, and it's hard to make a decision, especially I'm going to get on my soapbox for a moment, but I invested in the Starlink system about a year ago. And I say all this to say the reason why we wanted to put this resource out is when you look at some of the prices and you look at some of just trying to bring information that helps you make decisions. So I can say that the reason I'm able to be here and do the things that I do all the time is that my Starlink works great. And we want to bring resources that help you make those decisions. It might be the right thing for you and it might not be, but that's certainly something that we are always working on. Some of the other things that we have going on, we are working on a really interesting webinar series and summit. So we're going to bring together experts when it comes to broiler breeders and talk about feeding. How do we feed these birds? So it's going to be an 8-week seminar or webinar series. And then we're going to have a summit in beautiful Banff, Alberta in August. And we're quite looking forward to that. So that'll be very interesting. So if you're interested, again, I think I've said it before, go to our website and you can sign up to get notified. And another thing that we're doing, and when Val talked about that continuous improvement system, we really want to bring together research collaboration. So bring together funders, bring together industry experts, bring together farmers, and talk about the research that is needed and research that has been proposed and how it could be tweaked to help that continuous improvement cycle so that we can advance poultry production in Alberta and in Canada. So as I've said, like we would really appreciate your input and your feedback. If there's something you're aware of, please feel free to reach out to us. So you can email us at info@poultryinnovationpartnership.ca. If you have questions, you have comments, if you want to know more, if you have an idea, please reach out, and we would love to work with you and see what we could potentially do in that area. With that, the future is bright. We're looking forward to a bright future as PIP. And I think that's all I have, except for a funny cartoon. Glad I'm not the chicken.
Yeah, great graphics, great graphics. You know, we've just got a minute or two left, so if somebody had a quick question, they can maybe throw it our way. Have you got all the partners you need, or as you do more work in the various areas, are there any gaps, any places where you're still out seeking some more input or perhaps involvement as the industry changes?
Yeah, as I described in that continuous improvement cycle, you know, we've got good connections, of course, with our industry partners, with researchers, and even some producers. What I'd love to see is a little bit more involvement from what I call the allied industry. We work with a handful of feed folks, veterinarians, but I know there are consultants and other groups out there who really have their ear to the ground and have some great ideas about how we can, you know, advance that Canadian poultry enterprise through the research and tech transfer that we do. We'd love to work with them. We'd love to have them part of the team. Like I said, we are better together. So
great. Now we've got, as we mentioned, kind of an international flavor to our student presentations, and not surprisingly, we've got a couple of international questions then. Can a student from an African university be part of the research collaboration? And I'll just toss them both at you at once. How do you become part of the Canadian Poultry Science Network? And I believe that comes from Africa as well. So can you tell us a little more about those?
Well, maybe Brenda can answer.
I'll handle the Canadian Poultry Science Network. So
okay.
It's largely a LinkedIn community. We're working on building that community and that network as we go forward. It is largely intended to bring the Canadian poultry research community together. That said, I don't think we are exclusive, but I would just say that the focus is Canada. So we welcome you, but it might not always be relevant. So I don't want to deter you. If you want to join, please feel free to join in. And but a lot of the events and stuff are more Canadian focused. So yeah.
Okay, and then Val, do you want to tackle whether someone from an African university can be part of the research collaboration?
Yeah, I think Brenda just said it as well. You know, as the distance goes, so does the collaboration. The strength of that collaboration sort of gets weakened a little bit in terms of relevance and just ease of communicating and that kind of thing. This research collaboration meeting that we're doing is actually going to focus largely on, you know, Canadian researchers and the Canadian industry. So you're welcome to participate, although I'm not sure being a part of the collaborations, you can, once you discuss with the other researchers, there may be a fit, but I can't speak to that directly. Just, you know, the context is different. So
right. Yeah.
Much
different industries, but I'm sure you can connect through PIP to find out more details.
Yeah, check out our website.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just before we move on, I see a note from Tyson Lancaster out at Dewberry wanting to say a big extra thanks to PIP for their support of the schools program in Dewberry, which of course we were so glad to hear about on Monday. So thanks to PIP for that.